What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie. This is part 5 of my reviewing and ranking King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard studio albums. I'm doing them one by one because if I made a single video of all 25, they would release 5 more by the time I uploaded the video. So I figured I started this, I think they had 25, 27. I wrote it down somewhere. I'm trying to see how many they released over the course of the next couple months. We're on number 5. I'm in your mind, Fuzz. I'm in your mind, Fuzz. I'm in your mind, Fuzz. Not really sure where we break. Came out in 2014 on Halloween. Let's give King Gizzard props for releasing stuff on Halloween kind of consistently. That's also a Zappa connection right there. That reverence for Halloween. And when their third album came out, Float Along, Fill Your Lungs, I thought to myself, this is perfect. Like, this band, if they just continue to make psych music and just repeat this template forever, I will be really, really happy. I thought that was exactly what the psych rock world needed back in 2013. And like, Oddments came out, and I don't think it was as good as Float Along, but I absolutely loved it. And the band put on live shows that were just absolutely insane. Then they dropped this album, I'm in Your Mind, Fuzz. And I had to completely rethink what I thought about Float Along as being the perfect psych album, because this came along and this might be, up to this point in time, the perfect psych album. So apparently going into this, what they thought was, we've set the bar pretty high. Our live shows are phenomenal. So let's start off on 100 and just hit the floor, hit the ground, just go as fast as we can in the beginning. So the opening track, I'm in Your mind, not only are they operating at full speed, not only do they just drop you into this and like, it's almost like trying to think of something where like it's already going really fast and you just drop in and you're just already like you just have to be going, or almost like you're running alongside a train. And the beginning of this album is when you hop on the train and you're just going. But now we've introduced krautrock into the mix. And so the opening, I'm in Your mind, is pretty much like, yeah, we now know about krautrock. We now love krautrock. We're going to do our own Australian version of krautrock. And later on, we'll revisit krautrock, but we'll do it as if we're on amphetamines, like all the amphetamines. Like, it's just King Gizzard, full speed, but now krautrock is in the mix. And live, in their live performances, they had started to like sort of meld tracks together, do the segue thing, right? They did a little bit of that with Head on Pill. But they had started doing that live and they wanted to do that on this album. So the first, 12, 14, 15 minutes, first 13 minutes is 4 songs that just segue in and out of each other. You get I'm in Your mind, which is just that krautrock just rush. Then we drop into I'm Not in Your Mind when they introduce this really awesome sort of melodic theme that comes in with the guitar, almost like dancing, proggy type stuff. At one point, they play with the melody of There's a Place in France, that thing, which Can also flirted with. And so maybe that is actually a nod back to Can, possibly this sort of acknowledgement that, yeah, we're in your territory now, but we're even going to like throw you a little nod. Then they go into Cellophane, which is this weird, kind of the one thing out of these first 4, which kind of goes off in a slightly different direction, but works perfectly and is this really weird song, just total psych rock song. And then we go in I'm in Your mind, Fuzz, which kind of revisits I'm in Your mind, but almost every time I listen to this, it reminds me of being at the Grateful Dead show. During their Mardi Gras performances, a parade would come out, and it would come out in the middle of general admission. So the place you had been for 2, maybe 3 hours comfortably, spaces you had you had your space, right? All of a sudden there's this parade that's literally possibly going directly over where you've been. And now all of you have to like squeeze together and then like deal with like 20 to 30 minutes of like the band's jamming this psych noise, playing stuff. There's this parade, there's confetti, there's balloons, insanity. That's what I'm in Your mind, Fuzz, to me sounds like. Is they're like, yeah, let's just make 3 minutes of psych madness, but in something that's familiar, but just blur the edges as much as possible. Friggin' amazing. Then you get two songs, Empty, Hot Water, which I think sound very much like this era, 2010, for the give or take a couple years, what psych music sounded like, especially coming out of Australia. A little bit reminds me of Unknown Mortal Orchestra, as does another song later on. Satan Speeds Up also has some very UMO vibes to it, especially stuff from their second album. And I think there's almost like, it's almost like art psych, you know, where it's definitely psych rock, but there's somewhat of this weird artier element to it. I don't want to say Arcade Fire, but that where rock's trying to be a little bit more than it is. And I think Empty and Hot Water both have that kind of art psych feel to them, feel a little more maybe like proggy in a weird way, but not too proggy, but great songs. And then we get Am I in Heaven, which is the krautrock on Amphetamine song. Has this false front of like this nice acoustic psych energy. We're like, oh, maybe we're going to calm things down for a while. No, we're not. We're going to double down on the krautrock energy because we just took a bunch of speed, or we're going to pretend we do a bunch of speed, or we're going to channel like Motorhead and just attack. It's just absolutely exhilarating whirlwind of psych chaos. 7 minutes of just like absolutely amazing music. Then the next song is called Slow Jam 1. And it's kind of this like, kind of swaying, take it easy kind of slow jam. But there's still like psych energy just kind of floating around. Like the aftermath of like, Am I in Heaven? Like this is like the dust has not settled. So there's still all this like psych energy. But it does almost feel like a mental breather. And the repeated refrain lyrically, I want to get it exactly right, is I need to slow my mind down low. And that's exactly what this song does. Because already we're like 25, almost 30 minutes into this thing. And it's just been exhilarating, pedal to the metal, crazy psych music. And Slow Jam 1 really does feel like, hey, let's just bring it down a little bit. The next song is Satan Speeds Up, which does not sound like Satan speeding up. This is the one that I think really, really sounds like it could be on Unknown Mortal Orchestra's first or second album. Really cool song. And then the last song is Her and I, Slow Jam 2. And this one starts off with a nice acoustic intro that kind of just gently drops us into this really nice slow jam with this really awesome guitar playing. And this isn't a slow jam where you're like swaying. This is like a slow jam where you're like really getting into the psych heaviness. And there is just so much beautiful psychness going on all around this. It is absolutely fantastic. Just trippy heaven, amazing stuff. Her and I, 8 minutes of that to close out what is kind of a perfect psych album. Absolutely fantastic. Hands down. I love it. If you've not heard King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and you've watched these videos so far, you're randomly watching this one, this is a fantastic place to start. Sound quality is a little better than the first four. The writing is varied enough where it doesn't maybe get accused of being repetitive. The energy is fantastic. And the first four songs, Am I in Heaven, Her and I, Slow Jam 2, if you're a jam band lover, you have to love those things. And the other stuff is just psych sweetness, psych perfection. Where would I rank this among the other five? Yeah, it's number one. Like, I love Float Along, Fill Your Lungs. I think that is just like a pinnacle. This somehow manages to be better. Like, they're sleeker. Like, Float Along, Fill Your Lungs is maybe a T-Rex of like psych rock awesomeness. And I'm in Your Mind, Fuzz is more like a velociraptor. Like, they're both going to kill you, but one's going to do it in a much sleeker way. And that's this one, where Float Along is just going to stomp you to death. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, that's the metaphor I'm going with. But yeah, love this album. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. Is it going to get better from here on out? I don't know. We're only in 2014. We got at least 10 more years to go. All right. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do all those things, and go listen to this album. It's damn near perfect. Peace. Talk to you later.